Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Bruce Leonard Leans Left. While it's still legal. Still legal today. I believe. Uh, I'm not exactly sure what's happening. A judge has declared that the Alien Enemies Act is that it's illegal for him to use it because, as I said in the beginning, we're not at war. We've never been at war. Not in Venezuela or anyone else. There's not an incursion. There's not an invasion. And their own intelligence now says that Tren de Aragua is not an arm of the Venezuelan government. So even that part of it is bullshit. The real question is, what happens to the 100 and something people that they've already drugged down to the fucking Supermax prison using this law that he never should have been able to use in the first place? And then that's another thing. Have you noticed everything's a national emergency? Last night he comes up with some wacky idea. He wants to tariff movies. Want to tariff all movies that aren't made in the United States? It's a lot of fucking movies. Anyway, because it's a national emergency. It's a threat to national security to make a movie in New Zealand. I don't know how Lord of the Rings or something is a threat to your national security, but apparently it is. Meanwhile, while he's doing this, just now, minutes ago, India attacked Pakistan. He's over here talking about tariffing movies and Heck said there's firing 4-star generals. He wants to reduce the 4-star generalship by 20% all the way across the military. And he posted on Twitter. It says less I forget what he said. Less generals and more GIs. It's like you spelled like getting your ass kicked by a superior strategist. Way wrong. I don't know if you know this, and I've never even been in the military, but just from studying history, it doesn't really matter how many people you have in your army. I mean, you can have more people than the other army, and if the other army is smarter than you, it's strategy, strategery, George Bush used to call it. Jesus Christ, why did India attack Pakistan? Because it's about that Kashmir thing. I don't know if you saw this about a week ago. There was a terrorist attack of some sort in the Indian. See, if you don't know about the history and the geography of the situation, the Pakistan and India are right next to each other. And there's a disputed region in between them called Kashmir, like the Led Zeppelin song. That's, I think, is where the Led Zeppelin song comes from. But anyway, so that area is disputed and has always been disputed. Pakistan says it's theirs. India says it's theirs. So they have some kind of like, Korean deal where half of it is Indians and half of it is Pakistan. And apparently, about a week ago, there was a terrorist attack of some sort in the Indian part of Pakistan. Of Kashmir, which India immediately blamed on Pakistan. And tensions have been high for the last week or so. They've been marching their armies around, and then today, the Indians shot a bunch of missiles at Pakistan, and they claim that they hit terrorist areas, but this is how wars start, If you don't know that. Thank you, Rich. It really does. It ties the show together. That's what I said. The rug ties the show together. So yeah, I mean, this is how wars start. If India starts fighting Pakistan, again, I don't know that much about it. In like, who's Russia got the back? Are they Pakistan? Are they Team India? I'm pretty sure China's, with one of them. I don't think we have much stake. Yes, Julian. This is how World War III could start very easily. And we have the dumbest people in charge of our country. I feel confident. We're going to go into this war with drunk XM and various others. And so and then today there was a meeting. They started to plan for the World Cup, right? And Donald Trump says on live television, "Are you to come here and see the World Cup? Then you better go, because if not, you're going to have to talk to Secretary No." And you're like, dude, I don't know if I'll tell you this. But I don't think anyone's coming. I mean, they might come, but I would come and risk ending up in a Salvadoran hellhole prison so I can see a fucking soccer game. I don't care if I love them. I don't care. It said, Cincinnati Bengals are in the Super Bowl, which has been a dream of mine my entire life. Like, oh, we might win the Super Bowl finally, and then I can die happy. And you go, the only problem is you got to go to North Korea. Like, where you might get locked up in a prison for smoking a cigarette or something. And if you're these people, the hell, you don't even got to do that. You got a tattoo? You got a Bulls jersey? You're going to prison? It's like, I don't think it's good for business. That's what I was on saying. Especially if the business is trying to attract people from all over the world to come here, watch soccer, and spend money. I don't believe it's going to happen. I'm surprised that the World Cup hasn't already been like, I mean, it's such a big logistical event. I guess it's hard for them to just pull it. But if I was them, I would definitely be considering it. You're going to get a bunch of immigrants want me let in because they posted a Trump meme on their Facebook page. It's like me. I mean, I'm an American citizen, so I don't think, and a white dude, so I don't know if they would look all through my shit. But if they looked through my phone, it wouldn't take 5 seconds. They'd be like, this guy, you're not coming back in? It's like, I fucking live here. This is America. It's amazing how fast it's changed. Same place was 100 days ago. The only thing that's keeping you them from busting in everybody's fucking door really is the courts at this point. And like I said, I wrote on my Substack, the Congress ain't going to help us. You know this, right? The Congress is going to stand right there while he does whatever the fuck he wants. So, when the courts make these rulings, the only ones who can back them up is us. So, you better get out there in the street and get ready for a general strike. Now, here's my question. Like I said, the judge says that he can't use the Alien Enemies Act because of all the reasons why I pointed out on this show. It says right in the act, the very fucking first sentence, in the event of war or an incursion by an armed enemy, the president has these powers, which makes sense in a war, a real war, and a real incursion that you'd want to get rid of people who might be, trying to fucking destroy your country. But we're not at war. And Trinidad Aragua is not a armed force, trying to take territory and all the things that involve, an actual war. It's bullshit cooked up by little Steven, the Nazi, Miller, in his fever dream of wanting to eradicate the United States of as many brown people as possible. And they made this up. It's a made up premise. It's like everything that they do. They take something that's real and then they twist it into something different. That it's not that. It's a wartime law. We're not in war. Okay? Now, the judge rightfully said this and threw it out. Now, it's going to get appealed and all that other bullshit. But I don't even think the Supreme Court can say, turn this into a war. It's not a war. And that's their thing. That's Trump's thing. Is everything that he does, he says, this is a national emergency. That's the same as the tariffs. He's like, I'm going to do this even though it ain't supposed to be the president doing it. It's supposed to be the Congress. I'm going to do this because it's a national emergency. And then he creates an emergency with some dumbass shit. Then yesterday he comes out, he says, they're going to reopen Alcatraz. Now, I don't know if you know this about Alcatraz, but it's as famous as it is, as many movies and stories as there are about the place, at the peak of its prime as a real prison, it only ever held like 350 people, maximum. It's not that big of a place. They really made it for the gangsters in the 20s. They were like, oh, we need to make a fucking example of these gangsters, so, just like the immigrants. It's a propaganda thing. And they go, hey, if you're one of these gangsters, you're gonna wind up on this island. They only ever had, like I said, about 350 of them at his peak. So even if he says, oh, we're gonna build it bigger. Like, there is no way to build it bigger, bro. It's on a fucking island. And the thing is dilapidated, falling apart. There ain't even running water. You know how much money it's going to take to revamp Alcatraz? He talking about, oh, we got to doge everything and save money. And he's like, why? Because I'm going to blow it over here. Thank you, Costello. I appreciate it. Dropping comments for the algorithm. My stats are way up on the when they send it to me. So thank you. But yeah, Julian says it generates $60 million a year in tourism. He's gonna spend $300 million to build it back. He's an idiot president. Listen, I don't know if you saw that interview with Terry Moran. He's actually arguing with Terry Moran. 13 did that, shot photoshopped in that picture, was really tattooed on his knuckle. He had MS-13 on his knuckles, and he says, that's a Photoshop. Oh, no, Terry, no. He had MS-13. He says, do I have to show you the picture? Please show us the picture, because that's even more fucking ridiculous. This is like your grandpa. Your old senile grandpa is the fucking president. He's like, oh, this is fucking this clear Photoshop. And you wonder, If he's that easily fooled by that, what else is he so easily fooled about? You know what? His whole entire worldview. That's. I think that these people have lied so much that they don't know it's true anymore. They because I used to think like, oh, he's lying, like purposefully lying, you know. And the more that he talks, the more I'm convinced that I think he does lie sometimes. But some of the stuff he says, he's in Costanza world. Like, it's not a lie if you believe it. And he believes it. And you listen to him talk about this tariff situation, it becomes more and more and more and more clear he doesn't understand a fucking thing about economics and how it works. And they said they're going to have 90, well, they said 90 deals in 90 days. They don't have one deal yet. Not one. It's like the clock is ticking, bro. There ain't going to be no fucking deals. Don't you get this? Yeah. Well, you know, well, he could drop the... Rich says he most likely dropped the N-word without a clue. Yeah, well, you know, and then he just get $500,000 gifted to him and they GoFundMe. It's just have you seen that story? Some fucking bitch goes off on an autistic black kid who's about 5 or 6 years old at a park somewhere and calls him the N-word. And then, of course, she got shamed on the internet. And then, so she starts a GoFundMe and says, oh, I've been shamed and canceled and we gotta move because I called this autistic black child the N-word in the park. Which, in a normal world, you'd be like, good. You fucking bitch. You're a horrible, evil piece of shit person. And you don't deserve anything but shame. But no, this is Trump land where people were like, wow, no, this is an outrage. Send her some money. And then she got $500,000 in a GoFundMe. Meanwhile, this man fell off the ballpark wall in Pittsburgh, fell onto the field during a Pirates game, broke his back and his neck. And he put a GoFundMe out to help for his medical bills. Got $49,000. This is America, land of the racist and the troll, and you know, the angry. I don't know what they're fucking so angry about, but these people are angry. It's like they really feel like life has fucked them over somehow. Meanwhile, they have everything. I mean, the woman wasn't broke. She wasn't poor. She didn't look poor. You know, she's walking around the park, you know, with her Gucci bag or whatever. It's like she has all the Kardashian accessories that you know, young white people want. But yet she's still angry as fuck. Most of these people, have you noticed, most all of them, they're all rich. They all have money. And they're all angry and miserable fucking cunts. All of them. And you're like, what is it that would make you happy? You know? I don't think it's possible. I think that these are just miserable piece of shit people. And there's a lot of them. A lot. Way more than I ever thought. Now, these assholes are all over the world, but I don't know if they're in the same numbers because most countries have rejected this right-wing extremism. I said Canada, Australia, Germany now. They rejected their far right populist bullshit. Because like I said, everybody sees what's happened to us, and they're like, "Fuck that." It took 100 days for them to fuck us up. Like I said before, when I started this show, I'm a white U.S. citizen, so I have a longer leash than most people. But don't think for a second that eventually they're not going to come around for people like me, people like you. Right now they're pushing the boundaries and sniffing around how far they can go and what they can get away with. But sooner or later, if somebody doesn't stop them, and I said, they're gonna turn around to you, me. It's like, you see this budget they're trying to put. It's like all about $1 trillion for the military, more for $500 billion more for homeland security. They call it. They're gonna build more of these prisons that they can lock up immigrants. I said it's immigrants now, like, and naturalized citizens that they don't agree with. And sooner or later, it'll be other people that they don't agree with. Don't think that for a second that those three dudes that he wrote the executive order, the three dudes that criticized him, and the guy that ran the 2020 election that told everybody it was rigged, because it wasn't. That's just the beginning. I think if he can get away with that, he'll go after more people, and then he'll go after more people. And if no one stops him, eventually he'll get around to people like me, agitators. Or a free thinker that questions, what he's trying to do. It amazes me. I mean, it doesn't really amaze me because, like I said, this particular time in American history is highlighting the systematic failures of the education system in America. Like, you would think that most people, when I was young, they taught us the Constitution in school. They taught us civics. We were taught that the Constitution is what makes America great. What makes you free. And it seems like people have lost that. They've forgotten. Or maybe they really never do. It's hard to say. It's hard to say what came first, the chicken or in school, and you can just look around you and go, some of these people don't get this, and they don't get most of it. Most of them are fumbling their way through so they could get to the keg party on Friday. And going, what are you doing reading them books? Like, what am I doing reading these books? I said, try not to be a dumbass. They were mean and bullies. I've seen the most heinous shit kids did to each other. I think that there's a certain segment of America that's always been this way. If you look back to the history, it's true. There's always been a violent, bitter, like, heart of America. Lots of great shit too, but There's always been a dark underbelly, and now it seems like the dark underbelly has rolled up like onto the top. It's not underneath anymore. It is America. Huh. The internet and the COVID, it really fucked people up. I really underestimated how much people would get fucked up by the pandemic and the internet. It's combined together, oh, it's like a nuclear bomb. Went right through the minds of everybody in this country and made them fucking crazy. To the point where people start thinking Bobby Kennedy knows what he's talking about health. Just eat some chicken soup. It's like some vitamin A. There's a thing they told he told all these people to take vitamin A, so they did, and then their livers start failing because if you have too much vitamin A, it poisons you. Yes, Julia says she wants to tell Trump and the sycophants that they can't pick and choose which parts of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights they like the way they do the Bible. Yeah. Well, the Bible is always been a ridiculous bullshit notion to begin with. Like, the Bible is not a book of laws. It's not like the Bible's like, this is how you run a country. The problem is all these people are stuck in the past. I said these are old people. All you had to do was see, dude, he argued with Terry Moran for 5 fucking minutes about that Photoshop tattoo. And then he said to him, why can't you just say, Terry, why can't you just say, okay, it is, It's like, because it makes you see what life is like when there's no one around. They just let Trump think whatever he wants. And they say yes. They back him up. And he was mad because he wouldn't do that. He was like, no, that's not what it is. And multiple gang experts have said that whatever the code that they're trying to say is bullshit. MS-13 people, you know what they get? Tattoo. It says MS fucking 13. They're not hiding it. It usually has an M, an S, and a number 13. I don't know if you know these people. Like Julian Sanchez was online trying to tell me that I didn't know about MS-13. I know all about MS-13. They're fucking horrible. They're terrible. And I've said a million times, if you could prove to me someone's MS-13, I don't give a shit if you send them down there. I do not care. But everybody, including them, should at least have a moment in a courtroom where they can say that they're not that. And the government has to provide some sort of evidence that that is what they are before you're going to lock someone up in a fucking black hole prison for the rest of their life. That ain't too much to ask. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is. Perhaps it is. And I don't know if you see all this stuff that's going on in Newark. The airport, the radar just quit working yesterday. Total blackout. Yes, Rich, it's called due process. It's in the Constitution, and everyone gets it. Antonin Scalia, the most conservative cocksucker that's been on the Supreme Court in my entire life. The leader of the right wing, even he said that anyone on American soil is protected by the Constitution and has the right to due process. Even immigrants, people that are on citizens. If you're here, they can't just grab you because that ain't how America works. See, that's how the fascists, that's how they get you. Is by how in danger you are and I said, like, oh, they're eating the cats and dogs, and they're cutting off heads in the street, and, and raping women, and, you know, like, well, like I said before, if that was the case, why they just say Laken Riley? Now, with Laken Riley, what happened to her is horrible. And that dude, again, should be sent down there. Like, go ahead. I don't give two fucks, okay? But here's my point. If there was so many murders going on, you wouldn't have to just use that one name. You have a whole list of names. You would say, oh, look at all these people. No, they just wait around for some immigrant to murder somebody, and then they go, oh, look. This is what happens, you know, all over the place. Well, if it's all over the place, how come you can't provide any more examples? And you got to just ride this one, beat it like a dead horse. You're like, Laken Riley this, Laken Riley that, Laken Riley this, Laken Riley that. That's one case. You're talking about 1 million people that they want to deport. You're telling me there's 1 million murderers? Like, no. It's a bullshit premise. And it always has been. Just like they're eating your cats and dogs. You know, and Vance even said, when they said it, he said, well, if I got to make up stories to get you to cover something, cover what? Cover up a bullshit issue that you just made up yourself? You know, to facilitate that you're perpetrating, which is that everybody is in danger. All the immigrants. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of immigrants. And like I said, if you can round them up and prove to me that they're gangsters and terrorists and criminals, send them away. No one's fighting that. Nobody's like, oh, those evil criminals should stay here. Like, that's not it. But with all these criminals, fucking war. And people would be dying in the street. But that's not what's happening. That's the point. This is all an invented fever dream, and some demented old man and some little fucking Nazi fuck, they made up this story. Because Stephen Miller, I don't know if you know this, has always been a Nazi, bro. There's video of him all the way back to high school. High school! He's like, I don't know how he hasn't had a fucking stroke. I don't know what it must be like. That's what I mean. I can't wrap my head around these people because the dude's a fanatic. It's like he wakes up in the middle of the night from dead sleep. Like, immigrants! It's like, gotta get him out! And then he's like, go to the desk, start whipping through the laws. Every law ever written, I'm gonna find what... That's what he did. He's like, 1776. Oh, I'm sorry, 1798. The alien and immigrant act of 1798. It says you have to be in a war. Well, it is a war, goddamn. You know, to them it is. To them it is. Everything's in stream with them. You know, it's like Elon Musk is like, you guys are having more babies, or it's going to be the end of civilization. It's like, really? That's not what he means. He means the end of white civilization. You know, the white dominated. That's what I mean. It's like if you're a reasonably intelligent person who's living in times right now, you realize we're fucked. Human beings are never going to evolve. We're never going to reach that place. We're never going to get to the Star Trek place where, you know, we've realized, like, hey, we're just going to destroy the world and ourselves if we keep living in this, you know, fucking regressive tribal mindset. And look, India's fighting Pakistan. They're right next to each other. You take a Pakistani Indian and a Pakistani right next to each other, spin them around a few times, and then tell me which one is which. But yet they're going to kill each other over some fucking little chunk of land. We're not going to reach that place. It's not going to happen. I mean, it always seems like it will, doesn't it? Like, I mean, think about just the history of humanity past relatively, close. Let's say 1900, right? About 1900, there was a world war, and millions of people were killed, and it was a horrible, terrible fucking tragedy for everyone involved, right? And you would think, man, after that, people are going to get their shit together. No, they did it again. It's like 20 years later, they did it again. Killed millions of people. Yeah, horrible tragedy for everyone involved. The fascists were beaten back. And then, hey, we're going to learn now, No. This is what happened then. They were like, no, gotta get in our little groups. There's the capitalists over here and the communists over here. And, oh, look, the communists they're getting too ballsy. We gotta do something. And then Korea. Vietnam. Like I've been watching. There's a good show on Netflix about Vietnam. I've been watching. I knew a lot about Vietnam, but there was a few nuggets in there that I did not know. They follow the politics of what was going on inside of the country a little more than most books that I've read. Most books that you read are pretty straight up, like this is what happened in these battles, and this swung the tide. Like the Netflix show, they talk about the inner politics of the president of South Vietnam at the time, and then how he was overthrown in a coup because he was he got too authoritarian, and so even the United States was like, oh, I don't think that this guy can. So we kind of backed a military coup, which I think they thought was going to be a soft coup, but it wasn't. They fucking stabbed it. The top two. The president and his right-hand chief advisor, they stabbed him and shot him in the head. And he was murdered. And they have all these recordings of like Lyndon Johnson. He's like, oh, that was not good. It's like, no, it's not good. It's like, oh, I was just meeting with that guy in the White House a few months ago. And now he's dead. It's like, yes, he's dead. And Vietnam will show you, same thing. You can have all the military might in the world. It doesn't matter. People can wait you out. It's their country. And you can't kill your way to victory. That's not how it works. We never seem to understand that, We did it twice. Like we couldn't conquer Korea. Had to cut it in half. Couldn't conquer Vietnam. It was cut in half. And then we couldn't even protect the southern half, Because when World War, I hope that you know that when World War III happens, North Korea is coming down Korea. The Koreans know this, I guarantee you. But they're coming down the peninsula. That'd be the first thing they fucking do. Try to reunify the country in the communist rule, just like they did in Vietnam. And if we're fighting China and Russia and shit, we ain't gonna be able to do shit about it. This is bad times, man. We're living in bad times. I told my mom that 2 days ago, I said this thing in India in Pakistan, it could start some shit. Because I don't know if you know this, they're nuclear powers. Both of them. They both got nuclear weapons. Now, I don't know if they're crazy enough to shoot them at each other, but that's one thing that hasn't happened, right? We're the only ones that's ever dropped a nuclear bomb on anybody. What happens if one of these countries decides to shoot a nuclear bomb at the other one? And then Putin keeps saying that shit about Ukraine, but I don't think he'll do it because it's too close to them. You know, blow up a. I mean, in Pakistan the same way, I guess. You're gonna blow up a nuclear bomb right next to your own country. That shit's gonna blow over. Yeah, you might destroy a bunch of shit over there, but the cancer and all that radiation is coming over your country as well. So that's why I never understood the nuclear bomb. It's like, boom! It's like, oh, look at that, we fucked them up good. It's like, yep, then now we can't go there for quite a while. Like, even if you won the war, like, well, we conquered the territory. Yep, it can't go there for about 100 years. It's like, you wait for that radiation to clear out. It's like, not a very good, it's just not a very good weapon. So they always talk about those weapons. The best weapons would be like what they saw, the neutron bomb. They never really came up, they never really got it, but like the weapon that you could blow up and it would just like destroy all the people, but all the buildings would just be ready for you to just walk into. But they never came up with that. It was always like a theory. But it's like a bomb that, like I said, it's sent out some kind of crazy radiation. It would just, fucking turn people to ashes. But it wouldn't blow up the fucking city. Like it would just kill all the people in the city, and then you could just march in, take it over. That seems more practical than nuking the place. Yes, the only ones dropping, and then Japan forgave us. Yes, but they kind of had to, didn't they? That's the thing, is it? America likes to force people into shit, and then and then pretend that we didn't do nothing that bad. One day I'm going to count it up, but so I'd have an exact figure, but there are hundreds of treaties that the United States made, like with the Native Americans and shit, and we broke every single one of them. That's why I never understood. If you start looking into history, you start studying it. You're like, and everybody say America's so great, it's the bastion of freedom. Like, is it? Is it? It's like, because they seem pretty shitty to me. Like. Like the Little Bighorn, for example. Like, we massacred Indians, forced them all to team up with each other, even though they hated each other. Some of them, they decided, hey, our collective plight is more important than the hatred for each other. And so they put together a big-ass army, and they kicked the shit out of Custer, Little Bighorn. And then America was like, oh, they murdered him. It's like they murdered him. It's like they were fighting back. It's not really murder, It's just like the fucking, what I was saying about October 7th. It's like they lost the argument when they did the horrible shit. Now nobody cares. It's just like that incident that happened here, Cincinnati, that I told you about in the last episode, where the police shot an 18-year-old kid, black kid, and then about 2 days later, his dad saw a policeman directing traffic, and he just snapped, and he fucking stepped on the gas and ran over the cop, right? And now nobody wants to talk about the cops. It's all about that dude. because now he's lost the argument because he did something horrible. I mean, it's horrible. The cop that he ran over didn't have nothing to do with this. As a matter of fact, he was retired. He was only out there because he was helping direct traffic for the UC, University of Cincinnati graduation. So he killed an innocent person in retaliation for his son being shot by the police. Then for him, I guess it was just any police. And it was, I think it was just a target of opportunity. I think that, people are trying to say, oh, he planned it. Like, how's he going to know he's out there? I don't think he knew he was out there. I think he was just driving in his car. And he stopped at the red light, and then he saw a cop out in the street directing traffic. And he was like, and he snapped and stepped on the gas and ran him over. Yes, Julius, all I can do is laugh when I see videos of right-wing nut jobs telling indigenous people to go back where they came from. Yes. Yes, exactly. But see, that's what I mean is there's no logic or rhyme or reason to hatred and prejudice. None. You're like, you're brown skinned and I'm and I'm not. Go back where you came from. It's like, dude, he's from here. He was here before you. That's what's hilarious, the whole go back where you came from thing. It's like, hey, none of us from here. Ain't nobody. That's why when you tell people that this is white supremacist movement and they're still white supremacists about they go, oh, you're full of this whole country. It's like, we came over here, we killed all the people that lived here, and then we brought a bunch of people over to fucking slave for us. And white people are walking around, we run this place. That's how America is. It's how it always has been. And they fought tooth and nail for civil rights and for black people to vote, for women to vote, for all this. And then we finally made some progress, and they can't stand it. And they've been trying to tear it down ever since, and now they're succeeding. It doesn't. You don't have to be a fucking history scholar to put two and two together. It's like you can see it all over the place. Just examples of stories and things. Like if you ever watch Deadwood, right? You ever watch Deadwood? The two white guys robbed Wu's dealer, Chinese, killed him and took all the fucking dope, right? And the dope was supposed to be for Swearengin, who's a white guy. And then, so he digs into it and finds out, oh, it's two white guys. But then he tells the Chinese guy, hey, I can't kill them both because if I kill two white guys, they'll kill all of us, And he's like, so you can only get one. Why? Because they're white. That's how it was. And that's how it always is. And always has been in the United States. It's like GoFundMe. Someone set up a GoFundMe for the man who ran over the police officer here, right? Black guy. And he caused a big stir. And so GoFundMe and they come out and say, we're sorry. We're sorry that we let him, raise money on the GoFundMe for his legal defense or whatever. And then, but at the same time, remember Trayvon Martin? George Zimmerman raised all kinds of money on GoFundMe. Kyle Rittenhouse raised all kinds of money on GoFundMe. No one cared. No one said anything. But a black guy killed a cop. Now you can't do this. Now, whether I agree with him or not, I mean, of course I don't. I just said he lost the argument by doing what he did because there's no excuse for what he did. If he was to go out and hunt down the cop who actually killed his son, that would be more understandable. It still ain't right, but it would make more sense then, oh, I'm just going to kill it, you know, whoever's in front of me. And all this talking is like, it's like killing is wrong. Violence is wrong. Period. You know, and there's no justifying it, no matter who does it. But at a certain point, oppressed people and people who feel disenfranchised and attacked by the systems that they live under might snap and do something. That's why it's best not to set up situations like that. There's a lot of under the surface. There was a show on NBC about David. It's called David Frost Versus, and David Frost, if you don't know, was a British interviewer who was a really good interviewer, and he got he interviewed lots and lots of people. He's the one that got Nixon to like snap on live TV. There's a movie about that too. But it was him and Muhammad Ali, and Muhammad Ali was talking. I mean, basically was talking like a supremacist. I mean, not a supremacist, but like a segregationist. Like there were people that was like there were black people that also believed that white people and black people couldn't live together and shouldn't. And that if they miscegenated, you know, that they would weaken them somehow or whatever, you know, and that's the whole point is it's all such fucking stupid bullshit. I mean, race in of itself is a construct. It's only has value like money because you think it does. You know, I never for one time in my life ever, not once, thought that I was better than anybody else because I was white, or that a black person or an Asian person or a Mexican person is somehow lesser than me. Like they're just different. They're not lesser. There's plenty of smart people of all kinds. There's plenty of fucking dumbasses of all kinds. And people that have mixed race children, who gives a shit? It was like, I don't know if you ever seen the movie Bulworth, but at the end of Bulworth, that's what he says. He's like, that's what we need is a long, protracted program of racial deconstruction. And he's like, well, he's like, everybody gotta fuck everybody until we're all the same color. Now it's gonna take a while, but like that's how you achieve. Get rid of all this bullshit. Because it goes all back again to tribalism and shit. It's like, okay, so all the white people got to sit together, all the black people got to sit together. We're against each other. And like, we're not against each other. That's all, like I said, a construct. A societal construct. So, and why? So that one could dominate, the other. And even in other countries or other continents, like Africa, for instance, black people fight black people all the time. Same thing as the Pakistanis or whatever. Like you try to Houthi and a Tutsi or whatever they were, put them next to each other and spin them around and go, which one is which? You can't even tell. You can't tell. Yes, we're all members, Julius, we're all members of the human race, but there are too many people who don't believe that. They've dehumanized anyone not like them. Yes, but it's also a lack of self-confidence, self-awareness, and people think that they need to be in these big groups and they need to be around other people like them, because otherwise they ain't got no meaning, and it's like, I guess because being an only child and never really having anybody around, I got comfortable with myself. I don't need a bunch of other people to fulfill me. Most of the time, the more people get around you, the more bullshit drama you got to deal with, the more lies and betrayal. And, people are fucking shit. for the most part. I dare anybody to fucking to prove that wrong, because it won't take very long to be like, hey man, maybe he's got a point. But fucking families fucking break apart all the time. You know, somebody in your own family fucks you over. You know, people. It goes back to the point I was making before. It's like people that say, "Oh, we ain't from monkeys," and you are a monkey. It's like you're a hairless monkey with shoes on. It's like most of the time, that's how people are. There are a few, like I said, enlightened beings, and they've created all these things that you see around you. But most of the other people that are using them, look at all this technology they made so you can stream stuff to your house. Let's watch people get kicked in the balls, you know, for all day long. Oh, look at that. And like, dude, that's funny for a minute. It's like, look around the rest of the internet. There's everything around. Like, there's all the knowledge in the world. You can study any topic you want. It's like having a university right in your fucking house. And they don't care about that. They're going out to the universities right now too. You know why? Because they don't want smart people. Smart people are trouble. They want easily manipulated people that'll go to work and not complain too much about the shit jobs you got to do or whatever, you know. That's what society is. No one's going to make a society where it's like, hey, maybe we can make everybody better, as best as they can possibly be, and on an equal level playing field. There ain't ever been. I mean, maybe if you go to, like, I've never been over there, but like Switzerland or, you know, or like Holland, or some of those countries. They give everybody free education and free healthcare. You know, everybody has a shot. And even there's still drug addicts in the street and homeless people. Because the truth is, there is no utopia. You can't save everybody. You can give everybody all the tools. There'll still be people that fall through the cracks. There's still going to be addictive personalities and people who have, mental health issues. And, there's no way to get rid of all that. All you can do is try to make a society that's as humane as possible and tries to positively affect these kinds of things. But there's always going to be people who don't care. I never forget, one time I saw this documentary where they were talking about homeless people. And they were down in Skid Row in L.A. And they found this homeless guy who lived in this, like, house made of boxes that he had made. And he's like, this guy was a college professor. He had an education and everything. And he was like, you know what? Society is a bunch of bullshit. He's like, I just dropped out. He's like, I just decided not to participate in it anymore because it's fucking hypocritical bullshit. You know, it made an intellectual decision to just drop out of society, live in a cardboard box. He didn't seem like he was drunk or a drug addict. He's like, I just couldn't take the rat race anymore, you know, getting up, doing the same shit. And, you know, he's like, if you look at it, he's like, it ain't going to do. This is not going to change. And they just got frustrated, dropped out. And that really opened up my eyes to, like, you know, because I felt like that too sometimes. Like, you know, the whole thing is a fucking joke. It is. But I've always just managed to navigate it best I can. You know, like, you do things and you go, oh, I want to do this, but this doesn't bring me enough money to live, so I get a job, and I work the job, but I tell the job, hey, this is my life. My life is out here, but I'm here to make money, and I'm smart, and I'm a hard worker, and I'm dependable and reliable. I'll show up on time, and I've been able to get away with it most of my life. But my goals have never been like, to advance in that, like, I'm going to advance up the ladder. Like I said, I went to the highest point you could get in management before they make you take a salary. And I said, that's it. Once you take a salary, you're fucked. Now they own you, and you got to work most of the time more than 40 hours, and you still get the same salary because you don't get paid hourly. And now you're working for less money than you would be if you were getting paid hourly. And you don't have the time to pursue any other avenues that you might have, Like, that's what the arts have always kept me sane. Like, I mean, I'm still not normal, a quote unquote normal person who's just like, my task is to get up in the morning and go to work and, and have a family and to make sure that I produce more taxpayers for the, like, no. I've never thought that. And as a matter of fact, I've always told those jobs, hey, I do something else. And if that gets in the way, this gets in the way of that, I'm gone. The same as when I went to Vegas. I went to Vegas, I got a job in the grocery store because that's what I do. And I've started doing comedy at night, doing comedy, until I finally was able to, hey, I think I can make a living now doing comedy. I don't need this store anymore. And I went and I fucking resigned. I give up all my insurance and all the things that come with it because I don't give a fuck about that. I need the artistic release to keep me sane or to make me feel like I'm doing something. Like, even this makes me feel like I'm contributing something to the zeitgeist, or whatever. Like, I'm not just sitting here staring at the TV and being depressed. It's like, hey, I got to do something. And what can I do? I can do this. I'm good at talking. It's like, and I have things to say, I think, It's called being a leader. It's something we sorely lack now. I mean, they're out there, but the dumbass tidal wave that's coming over is drowning a lot of those people out. And everything's a platitude now, and mostly bullshit and lies. I don't think we're going to get to that place. I always thought maybe we would, but we slid back so far now. It's like almost all the fucking progress that we made in my lifetime is because I was born after the Civil Rights Movement. So all that had already happened. Most of the progress that's happened in my lifetime has been like Obamacare and gay rights, the LGBTQ rights. And all that's getting rolled back. So, like, almost everything that is progress we've made in my lifetime is being rolled back. Now, how fast we can roll it back, I don't know. A lot of me thinks that the Civil War, I mean, I'm glad they did it because there's not slavery. But can I ask you a question? Do you think for 1 second that if we split the country again, that the other half of the country probably wouldn't go like, hey, but let's bring it back? I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think they could in the modern world, but you don't think they don't want to. They figure out some system that's, well, it's not technically slavery, but it's it makes sure that the other people get paid less, or in the and work more somehow, I mean, I was gonna say to complete my original thought was that I thought the Civil War is kind of useless. They should have just broke the country up right then and said, fuck it. You fucking assholes, have your own country. Go ahead. But I'm glad that we fought the Civil War because now everybody's free. But where we're at right now, like I said, it wouldn't hurt me if we just decided, hey, let's just cut this shit in two. I'd move to the good side and let them have their fever dream. Because as you can see, they're fucking stupid. They won't last. They don't know how to run nothing. They're dumb. They want everybody to be dumb like them. That's why they're attacking universities and law firms and all this other shit. Because they want everybody to be stupid like they are. So that people will believe their fucking bullshit lies. Where an old crazy grandpa dude can say, look at this Photoshop picture. And that's MS-13 on his knuckle. Why can't you just say it? Because it's not true. No matter how much you want me to believe your bullshit lies, I can't do it because I see through you. Maybe I've taken too much acid or eaten too many mushrooms, but I see through your shit. Yes. I see Julius said that. Yes, there are definitely knuckleheads who are vocal about wanting slavery. There was a story recently about why high school kids texting, Snapchatting black students, telling them they'll be slaves. Yes, I saw that. And again, these are young kids. Where do they learn this from? From their parents. The parents teach it to them that they're superior. And all the other races are mongrels or whatever they fucking call them. And it don't make me get out the... And all the other races are mongrels or whatever they fucking call them. And it don't make me get out the Klan handbook again. Nomenclature. The whole thing is... It's very depressing. It's hard not to sink down into, like I said, but that's what they want you to do. That's what it's designed to do, is to beat you down and make you feel helpless. And like I said, that's why I'm sitting here, because I don't want to feel helpless, and I ain't going to. And as long as there's a few people like you guys watching, I'm going to keep doing it. At least the feed didn't crash today. All right. The weather finally cleared up. Oh, look, here's a fucking... He just picked up the phone. It says, the U.S. is ramping up its spying on Greenland. I'm telling you right now, that fucking guy is crazy. He's going to do something. And the Congress is going to let him do it. Watch. That's why they're getting rid of all these generals, I guarantee you. So there's enough people... There ain't enough people to say, hey, man, you shouldn't do this. You get rid of everybody except the nutliggers. Then it'll say, yes, sir, that's him. Photoshop. Not a clearly badly done Photoshop. No, this is real. It's unbelievable. Anyway. What is it, Tuesday? I'm trying to remember what day it is. It's Tuesday, so I'll be back on Thursday. I appreciate, again, all you guys who watch. And go listen to my comedy, please. The numbers are fucking terrible. At least turn it on for a few minutes. So when I get a report this week, it'll say somebody listened, and I'll go, hey, it's coming back. You gotta feed my delusions. It's just, like I said, if you're an artist, it's depressing. Because you make a piece of art and you think, hey, I'm doing something here. I'm saying some shit. And it's good. And lots of people have said it's very good. But no one, it's just been buried. Nobody gives a fuck. So, watch it. That's it. Please, listen to it, whatever. I'll be back on Thursday, 6 o'clock as always. I am Bruce Leonard, and this is Bruce Leonard Leans Left, while it's still legal. Still legal, as far as I know. So, we'll see you about Thursday. Thank you, and be safe out there.